Let's figure this sucker out. It's good, guys. Haven't been on here in a minute. Let me just pull one.
The reason why Riley Leonard, I think, to all of our points, is so impressive, it's not because of what he can do with his arm, although he's a quarterback, he's going to have to throw a football. What he does for that run game for Duke, who has been unstoppable seemingly all season, is a big deal. Louisville's defense, though, does well against the rush. Yeah. And on the flip side, Duke's defense is like 7th in points. I think they're top 5 in red zone defense. This is going to be an old school fight it out type of game. Riley Leonard's legs is what's so important, which is why the ankle is such a big deal. Yeah. But I like what the ACC's got cooking, and Louisville being favored by 6 this late in the season. Yeah. Congrats to Braun bringing the boys back down to Louisville.
And you know what? College game day might well have been in Louisville if Louisville hadn't lost to Pitt. And Pitt and Notre Dame, common denominator between these two, all the things that the committee will start to take into consideration starting next week. This is what we have.
Instead, we got to come see the Mutts.
Instead, we came to see the Mutts. For the state of Wake Forest at noon, right after College Game Day, BYU in Texas, and then Colorado at UCLA, Pally, behind Chip Kelly, who I do believe is one of the answers to the athletic trivia question today, Stanford Steve.
Great job, collaborative effort. I'll just say it again. I know you guys got it as you all work together.
Got West Virginia on the board.
One of the 5 active FBS coaches that's had multiple Rose Bowl appearances. You said Chip Kelly.
It's the last game he hasn't picked yet.
James Franklin. You got Brett Bielema.
Sally and I are so pleased. Sally and I are so pleased.
Mac Brown. Back-to-back years.
That's
right. Long time ago.
Michigan,
record time, too.
05-06.
Michigan, they won, and then they won the national championship, which was still the Rose Bowl. Yep. Actually went there for another national championship game when he was.
So he's on.
We used no technology.
He's on Cal at home over USC.
That's true. But we used no technology.
You heard us walking through that.
I agree with that.
Hit the stairs.
No, I was here, though.
Yeah, you were here. That's not true.
Looks like I can't see that top right game.
Yeah, I did.
Mississippi State, Auburn?
I thought, Steve. What are you, one of these Georgia fans who hate me on the show? Jeez,
we get to work together because Marissa Dowling, our researcher, is out to get us with these all the time. It's still to come. College Game Day, Colorado and UCLA tonight. Kirk's going to be on the call. Break down what to watch for in that matchup as Colorado tries to get the ship righted, and Tim Tebow one-on-one with Carson Beck ahead of the huge rivalry game. See how watching Stetson Bennett play allowed him to be ready for this moment.
What is it like for you to be able to start your first Florida-Georgia game? Or how you would probably say it now, Georgia-Florida game.
When I was younger, I was wearing blue and orange. There was a shift there in high school where I went to wearing red and black, and obviously here I am.
Can't wait to hear that conversation. We got the field goal.
Damn, it looks cold in Utah.
Let's take the shoes on.
Yeah, he had some boot kickers on. I think that guy came right out of the farm. Got his friend's shoes. Cameron's a business major. Good business will be putting that ball through the uprights for $75K.
Can't wait to see that. See if Pat gives away some more money. Don't go anywhere. Much more to come on College Game Day. And now I have a very special word from Duncan.
Yeah. With the clock winding down, the pressure building, and you're really feeling the heat. What's the play?
Yeah, Zach, the Oklahoma line.
The perfect call every time.
Let me turn this down a little. Actually, fuck it. It's commercials. Yeah, the Oklahoma line's dropping, but money's on Kansas. So, you know, I guess the books are just respecting that. Maybe the game's going to be closer than I think. I mean, at 10, I didn't mind it. Below 10, man, I just can't quite get there. I can't do it, guy. I can't do it. I'm still on Oklahoma. I'd be on Oklahoma, or I'd just simply, you know, there's a lot of other games. Sunday looks better than Saturday this week, so I don't know. I would just stay away from the Oklahoma game completely, to be honest. Thoughts on the over-under in the Penn State game? Man, I don't know. I mean, man, what is it at 45 or something? 44, 45 and a half? I can hear it. Let me check. I don't know about that Penn State game, man. That has like fucking 37-3 written all over it. 37-7 maybe. Let's see what the line is. Penn State. I got, by the way, Kansas, Oklahoma. I got 8.5. 8.5 on FanDuel. So if you do want to bet Kansas, go on FanDuel. You can get the 8.5. Indiana, Penn State. The total is 44.5. Interesting. 44.5. My thoughts on 44.5. I mean, how do you bet a game like that? I think just go to the casino and play roulette, man. There's so many things that you can find an edge on. That game, I really don't know. Penn State, they're all. Did you see the Ohio State game? It is a big bounce back spot, though. That could be a butt whooping. To be honest, I'd probably lay the spread of 30 points before I bet the under over. I really don't have a clue. Honestly, I'd take the under. If I had to, I'd take the under because I'm not even sure Indiana's going to score. I'm really not sure Indiana's even going to be able to score here. And is Penn State going to score 45? No. I think Penn State will score in the mid to upper 30s. So, I don't know, man. They're going to be bleeding clock at the end of that game. 37-3. That's 40 total points. I'd lean the under, and I would lean taking Penn State to literally kill Indiana. You got to kind of break it down. You got to break that game down into like smaller portions of the game. It's hard to look at that as a 60-minute thing. I like to look at it per quarter. It's like, okay, well, if we like Penn State to cover, how are they going to cover 30 points? Well, that means they got to basically be up by 7.5 points on average per quarter. Then you got to ask yourself, do you really think Indiana is going to be able to stay within a touchdown per quarter? If the answer is no, then lay the points at Penn State. At the end of the game, you could be looking at like 8-9 minute drives, Penn State just running the ball. And that could still end up in a field goal. They could go all the way down to the 20 and just kick a field goal because they're already up 20. So I don't know. That game's horrible. I'd stay away. I wouldn't touch it. I'll be right back.
Cam Rising and for Bryson Barnes. Hey, our best LC told you earlier, dealing with a family matter. He's feeling great. Sure, he's watching the show. Getting back next week. Well, now, see, you shouldn't really be going after people's mothers. That's not nice. Bo Nix, a lot about Bo Nix's age. Both quarterbacks in this game today are married men.
Too many ifs. I would just stay away personally.
Holding up the sound. Dan Lanning said game day history came into the Lions Den here in the teeth of the muss. The state is case for the Ducks, and now Pat McAfee putting money on the line with a field goal contest.
Reese, it is beautiful out here. It's still chilly, but the Utah Utes fans have showed up in abundance, and we are incredibly grateful for all of you. Now, joining us now is a man named
Cameron Culkin,
who is a
junior,
and major is
Oregon, Utah. I'd take the points.
No.
Okay. So
look at what they're wearing. It's cold.
No.
It's going to be cold, smash mouth football.
Okay, well, today
it's going to be a close game.
Where you can make $75,000.
A lot of the public money is on Oregon. I would take 6.5 points. I think Utah covers. They might even win.
With 75 racks, Cameron.
Yeah, I'd take the points.
He won the Heisman and the Super Bowl MVP. He knows something about big moments. He wanted to share a word with you, Cameron, before you either embarrass yourself or make a lot of money for yourself.
So I asked the young man, are you ready for this? He said no. So we got to erase that from your mindset. Positive thoughts. So ready.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, now, before we get started here, have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life?
Yes.
All right, relax, dude. Okay. We have two refs down there, Stanford Steve and Boston Connor.
Oh, my
They're
God.
Have their eyes on the pulse. I think you are potentially going to prove that kicking's not easy, or We're going to go up
He ain't
over
making it.
$100,000 given away on the season.
I'm going to match your 75 today.
$150,000 ready for you.
He ain't making it.
You want a match too?
Yes, $225,000 on the line. All you got to do is kick the ball 33 yards, Cameron. Good luck, pal. Herbie's a hater. Don't worry about that. Let's go, Cam. $225,000.
Are we ready?
Cameron, we're at altitude. This ball should fly. This ball should fly. Des will not block it. This is the biggest kick we have ever had.
Man, oh man.
No way.
Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. He might have a little bit of a sideways view on this thing. Stanford Steve is on a slant. I think if you're even in the ballpark, they'll call it good. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron.
Wow.
Here we go. Good hold by Kirk Herbstreit.
On me? I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
200. Good effort. Good effort. Not a bad ball. Not the worst I've seen. But when you start judging the kickers, I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
No more kicks. No more kicks. As much as I would love to have seen Herbstreit and Desmond cough up 75K.
Dang.
In Jacksonville today, Georgia and Florida. Remember,
Yeah,
the Gators
Utah.
still in this
I'd take the
SEC
points with
East
Utah,
race.
guys.
Georgia has won 24 in a row.
It's ice
These
cold up there.
great
It's like 30
rivalry games.
degrees.
Think back to 1980. They each try to ruin it for each other.
Maybe
Georgia
Utah
looking
doesn't
for
win,
national
but
championship. Gators
I
take
feel
a
like the
lead.
game's ending in a field goal
Blue
personally.
backed up in his own end.
I really do.
Desperately
Whoever has the
looking
ball
for a
last
receiver
probably
to
gets
save the
a
dog.
field goal to win.
Behind him. Gonna throw on a run, complete to the 25, to the 30. Lindsey's got 35, 40. Lindsey's got 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, Lindsey, 25, 20, 50, 10, 5. Lindsey's got.
And oh, was there property damage on St. Simon's Island that night? The Dogs saved themselves. 2002. Maybe it didn't work out for the Dogs. DJ Shockley picked up by Gus.
Why is
Scott.
Georgia,
Dogs
Florida
over
being hyped
13
up?
on third down. Rex Grossman throws for 3.
Let's try to find an upset
They
pick.
ruined the Dogs' perfect season. And
What do you
Larry
guys like for
Hutchinson
upset
said,
picks? Let me know in the
"Hey,
comments. I'm going to
again,
try to
these
find one right
Gators
now.
have pulled our hearts out.
And don't give me a team that's like a 2-point underdog. Let's really try to find an upset here. A big one. I'll tell you what, West Virginia, I hate betting on my school, but West Virginia, they're a 7-point underdog to UCF. I know it's a road game, but West Virginia, bounce back spot, Central Florida, off the big emotional game with Oklahoma. I wouldn't be shocked if West Virginia won outright today. 7-point underdog. What else? Maybe Maryland loses at Northwestern. Probably not, but maybe.
The Gators. That was in 2007. You know, since Kirby
Clemson?
has been at Georgia,
Do we think Clemson could possibly lose again? NC State is so bad.
He had to complete 7 passes. So today,
But, I mean,
Carson
anything's
Beck
possible.
will make his first start for
NC
Georgia
State,
against
9.5
Florida.
point
He's been
underdog.
starting all of this year, and he'll make a start.
Maybe
in his
Clemson
hometown of
loses again. I
Jacksonville,
don't
in a
know.
stadium he
Dabo
hasn't played
doesn't
in
really have
since the
control of that
city
team right now.
championship game as an 11-year-old. Now, he won't have his top weapon in Brock Bowers on his side.
I don't really
but
see
what
anything
Carson
else.
Beck
Oh,
brings is a
Mississippi
big arm
State.
and a little Duval attitude.
It could
Did
be
you
Auburn.
see him lay out that Vanderbilt defensive back to stop a pick 6 last week? So if you think about it, let's see. A quarterback from the Jacksonville area wearing number 15 who relishes contact, was one time a Florida baseball commit. Now the Georgia quarterback talks to another number 15
Wisconsin
who
at
didn't mind
home
sticking
over
his face
Ohio
in the fan
State,
when he wore
nah.
the orange and blue. Tim
I'll
Tebow
tell you
with
what,
Carson
Colorado,
Beck.
are they due for another crazy performance? They've kind of fallen off a
What is
cliff,
it like
but
for you to be able to start your first
Colorado
Florida
over
Georgia
UCLA,
game?
I don't know.
How you would probably say it now, Georgia-Florida game.
It's obviously super exciting, as you know. Getting the chance to go home to Jacksonville, where I'm from, and play such a huge game that's such a huge rivalry. Super blessed and just super excited.
Did you ever get the chance growing up to go to this game?
Yeah, I mean, we would go every year, especially as I started to get older.
most of the years that you went, what colors were you wearing to the game?
I have to admit, when I was younger, I was wearing blue and orange. There was a shift there in high school where I went to wearing red and black, and obviously here I am.
Bennett launching.
Didn't they just play this?
Georgia on the mountaintop.
You being so gifted, so highly sought after, that when the portal opened,
I thought we just saw this segment
for you to stay
before the last
and
commercial
wait
break,
till
I
you
swear.
got your opportunity.
I just always felt like this was the right option here, and when I chose to come here initially, I knew that maybe I am going to have to wait to play, and ultimately that benefited me as far as being ready to go out on the field. When I came in, our defense was just ridiculous. Like, I would go against the one defense, and I had no clue what was going on. The speed of the game was just so fast, and seeing what our defense does, they're so multiple in what they do, helped me to catch up. So now, seeing different defenses, seeing different looks that people are trying to do, I think that would be the biggest area I improved on.
Carson, one of the things that I love about your game is how easy you make throwing the ball down the field look. Talk to me a little bit about your footwork and how you barely stride, you barely step, and yet that thing's humming.
Most of the power and energy is coming from the ground, and I feel like that's why it looks so effortless. I try to be like 60-40-ish to the back foot, of course. Like inside of like the feet, if that makes sense. So like not on the outside, but the inside. And then first thing is like just straight hip. So like it's almost like a counter rotation, if that makes sense.
Hip and shoulder separation.
Yep, so shoulders here, hips there, and then the arm the arm path just follows.
What a ball by Carson Beck. Just floated it in there.
One of the throws that I loved this year was a first drive against Kentucky. Y'all have a crossing route. You throw a dime with anticipation and velocity, and the corners collapse and safety's coming down in between all three. I felt like after that, in that game, you were on a roll. Do you feel like the more that you've played, you've continued to build your confidence, or you just needed to find a little bit more of that rhythm?
Going into the season, I hadn't played football in so long, and it's seriously, I mean, I hadn't played in almost 4 years, and just trying to learn how to play football again is a huge part of it, because football in a game and football in practice are two totally different things. But I think also finding that rhythm and obviously having guys make plays around me make my job a lot easier.
Those come from behind drives, especially at Auburn on the road. Jordan Hare, that is one of the toughest places in the country to play, and you didn't flinch. What was going through your mind?
I remember walking out there when we were kicking off and we were trying to get snaps on the sidelines to like have the center hear the clap through like the loud noise. And I was like, wow, like this is about to be so much fun.
Carson throws. There's Bowers. Angled to the pylon. Touchdown.
In those big time moments, pressure moments, it's like just go have fun and whatever happens, happens.
You see the numbers that Carson Beck putting up, completing nearly 74% of his passes.
Yeah, against nobody. Who has Georgia played?
Bowers. He leads Georgia in yards.
I don't know, guys. I don't think Georgia's going to win this year.
Add them all together, and they have a grand total of 4 more yards than Bowers has by himself in yards after the catch. But Beck has really come along and has played some really good football for the Dogs.
Yeah, and I think a big part of him playing really good football is having
Beat
the
Vanderbilt by
best player in
17.
football on the field with him. That's not his
Barely
fault.
got by a
Bowers
bad
is that.
Auburn
He's been that
team.
for the last 2 years.
Beat
Last
South
3
Carolina
games,
by
Brock had
10.
over 100 yards. He and Carson
Guys,
have been building up a big
Georgia's
chemistry,
Georgia's
being able to
not.
find each other. Now he's out. Now we will test Carson and
Okay,
see
they're
how he's
top
gonna
10.
be.
I was going to
Is
say
this
not.
Georgia
No,
team
they're
gonna
not
rise to
top
the
10.
occasion
I
like
don't think
others have in
Georgia's
the
top
past?
10.
Back-to-back
Maybe
national
6 or
champions.
7.
And they got Ladd McConkey back.
Georgia's
Well, I
not
think it's
good.
gonna be a
Georgia's
great
not winning
weapon
at
for
all.
Carson
Zero
Beck. And
chance.
honestly, this is the test now for Carson. You lose the best player in college football. Can you still be efficient? I think he can. I'll be excited to see if that's true.
I think that's a perfect assessment because I think it does fall
And
even
that
more on his
opinion's with
shoulders. And I
Brock
mean,
Bowers
Not to
in.
mention, this guy's
I know
trying to
now
fill
they're
the shoes of
completely
Stetson
done,
Bennett,
but
who won back-to-back national titles.
even with
Now
Brock
he loses
Bowers,
Brock Bowers, and
not
now
that
I
good.
think more is going to be needed
Not that
from him.
good.
This is a team that relies on throwing the football more this year than last year because if you think about Stetson Bennett, it was a lot of creating, sometimes scrambling, sometimes his legs. That's not the factor right now with what they're doing. So it's going to fall on him. But you know what? I don't think their scheme changes with Mike Bobo at all. Oscar Delp is a very capable tight end.
Who do you guys
know,
like to win it all?
maybe the
Let me know in the
playmaking ability. Here he
comments.
shows you the ability to
National
recognize coverage on
championship.
the
Who do you
run,
think's going to win?
bends that across, and there's the timing with
I think
he
I like,
and the quarterback back. This is another thing. I think
God, I hate to say it, but I
receivers.
think it's either going to
not
be
just
Michigan
one
or Ohio
guy.
State.
You know, when you look at this and you think, okay,
I really do.
It's time for Lovett to step up because it's his opportunity.
Oh,
yeah,
Oklahoma.
Get more opportunities, but
maybe Oklahoma. Those would be my top three. Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma right now.
How about him feeling this? Almost like an option.
Florida State, they've looked too suspect at times. I don't know.
84 is the most underrated receiver.
But maybe they just play down to their competition.
And he has been
Not
for the
really
last
sure.
2 years. Here's a blitz from the corner. He does a good job, McConkey, helping it. This is another part of their offense that they're going to have to be able to do. You get some one-on-one
Kansas
chance in the
State
running game.
versus
These
Houston.
backs have got to make people miss, run over top of people. Kendall Milton coming back to go along with Dejon Edwards.
It's a lot of
I think
points,
gives him
man.
that
17 and a
combination.
half.
So, yeah, it's a huge loss.
That's a lot of
Significant.
points.
Florida's going to try to
Kansas
use their
State,
size up front
significantly
to take
better
away
team.
any running game at all. It's going to put more on
But
Beck,
the
I
quarterback
don't
for
think
Houston can
Dez,
play.
Okay, Bowers is down. Dale
I really
has to
don't
be the
know. I
answer.
think I'd probably-
It'll be a collection, a lot of different
I'd
guys.
stay away
Paula
from that
Thomas,
game at
another
all
guy.
costs.
It'll step up, I think, today.
No, you're 100%
Probably,
right.
I'd have to
Georgia,
take
they're gonna
Kansas
do what they're
State
gonna do.
if
They're
I
gonna
had
win
to
the
bet
battle
it,
in the
but
trenches first. I want to see how Florida's
don't
defense
touch that
approaches
game.
because now
I
without
don't know.
number
It's a weird
19
game. 17
on
and
the
a half,
field,
that's
the
a
best
ton.
receiver, best tight end, best player in college football, Bowers. Now you can free up a safety. You can free up a nickel. You can free
Georgia's
up that
probably
extra
gonna
guy in
lose
your
to
defense
Missouri.
who had to give 19 Bowers extra attention.
Or Tennessee,
So now,
I mean.
when it comes to the running game, they're going to have a
Tennessee.
hang defender.
Dang,
This guy
that's
can
their
either insert
schedule?
himself in the run, or he can drop back
Ouch.
in the pass.
Missouri,
really curious to see
Ole
how
Miss, and
Florida's
Tennessee,
defense
that's gonna
is
be
gonna
like
play
two
against
losses.
Georgia's offense and how Beck is
Bama.
gonna respond
Alabama
to
might win it
different
all.
looks.
I forgot about
Pre-snap
Alabama.
looks to post-snap looks is going to
Because they
determine
only have
the
one
success of
loss, and it's
Georgia's
at a
offense
conference.
today.
I like
So
Alabama.
Now what for Carson Beck without Brock Bowers? That's real deal. You're either a pretender or a contender. I think he's going to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Hey, I think on the other side, who's really interesting because Florida's third down offense has been horrific, second worst in the country, and Georgia's one of the tops in the country. It's stopping. Florida can't generate anything on offense. Georgia may not have to do a lot. DoorDash counting us down to kickoff in College Station.
Under an hour, guys. Under an hour. Let's go. We got another Saturday. Soak it in. Make sure you guys enjoy this. We only have so many more of these. The season is going so fast.
I don't blame him.
Guys,
been a
it's
tough
week
year.
9. It is already week 9 of college football. It's almost November. Take this in. I promise you. Soak this in.
The
best you can, guys.
It
only lasts so long. Do your very best to just absorb having college football on Saturday.
You want to see the heat turn up on Jimbo Fisher? Try losing that one today at home.
You like Michigan?
Yes, see what happened. Tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern
You like Michigan
time,
to win it
Tennessee
all?
and Kentucky
Yeah, I mean, they're not
controlled
tested
the
yet.
first half,
I got
smashed
to
in
wait
the
and see
second
with
half
Michigan.
against Alabama last
If
week.
they
Now,
beat
both teams
Ohio
got a
State.
season hanging in the balance.
Yeah, this is
know,
a
we'll
fourth
see.
in a row type of game. Neither team really throws the ball.
Alabama
very well.
and Oklahoma
Kentucky
look
really
attractive.
struggling in that
Let's
area,
look at
but
the
with
odds.
back-to-back
What are the
losses,
odds to win it all?
Perfect time to think that Kentucky can bounce back playing at home at night.
I know you love Stoops and the way they run that ball. Joe Milton's coming off his best game. 271 yards, 2 touchdowns. They got
Michigan's
outscored 27
won.
zip in the second half against Bama. I think Tennessee comes out with their best football, gets a massive win over Kentucky.
I agree with you. I got Tennessee. I don't think Kentucky's offense is going to sustain enough.
Guys,
drives.
Alabama
I got
is
Tennessee.
plus 1,400 to win it all.
Tennessee, with those 2 losses, be hard pressed to get into the SEC championship.
They're number
game.
7
But
on
we
the
might
list.
very well find out who's
That's-
coming from the SEC West.
That's complete
Next
disrespect.
Week, we're going back to Tuscaloosa. LSU
I think I'm going to
and
take a shot at
Alabama.
that.
The grudge match finished in overtime last year.
If I have a good
Brian
weekend
Kelly's
this weekend, I got some
former
extra
offensive
money.
coordinators, now Nick Saban's current one.
I'm going to
LC
take
should be back
Oklahoma
dancing.
plus
Here we go.
1,300
Give
and
a
Alabama
lot of
plus
Tuscaloosa.
1,400,
Head on
both
College
to win the
Game Day
national
celebrity
championship.
guest picker Steve Smith Sr. joining us to make some picks. I'm sure we know
Yeah, I like
which way
that.
he might be leaning. And prime time going to Hollywood. Dion and the Buffaloes had a week off after that Stanford loss. See if they can turn things around against a really good UCLA defense.
You can't mix my expectation and your expectation because they don't coincide. I know where I feel like we should be record-wise, and I know what we can accomplish. I just want to put it all together one game and give it to you and display it.
Pick a fight with, try and bully me, make you regret it quick. The only person I allowed to push me around is myself. Body.
Once you pick up an Arby's cheesesteak, it's going to be tough to set that thing back down. Hey, put it back. The commercial is not over. Arby's, we have the meats.
Nissan has a car for everyone. every driver who wants more.
More turbo.
More freedom.
More electric.
Wow, guys. The Kansas spread just dropped even more. It's down to 7.5. It's down to 7.5 for Kansas. This is too much line movement. I'm gonna bet it. I'm gonna do an alt spread. I'm gonna cook up a parlay for you guys right now here on live stream. Alt spread. We're going alt spread. I still don't like the 7.5, but this game's gonna be close based on this sharp line movement. We're gonna go Kansas plus 11.5. I like that 11 number. You never know. 11.5. Kansas plus 11.5. We're going to take Florida. No, we're not. Not enough value. I'm going to take... I don't know about that either. I'm going to take Texas A&M on the money line. I'm going to take... Kansas State on the money line. We're already to minus 105. So again, Kansas plus 11.5. Go alternative spread with Kansas. Just get a little bit extra meat on the bone. A little bit past the 10 mark. 11's a pretty key number. There's a lot of 11s. I've seen it land on 11 a lot of times. 34 to 23 is 11. Well, this can be a high scoring game. I could see Oklahoma winning this thing 44 to 33, you know? Kansas plus 11.5. Texas A&M money line. Kansas State money line. That's minus 105 right there. I mean, I just gave you guys an absolute home run right there. Alt spread, Kansas plus 11.5, and then just simply A&M and K-State on the money line. That's minus 105. That's almost double your money. I'm going to add a little bit more to mine here before the show comes back on. What else do I like? There was one other game I liked. Mississippi State. You could take Mississippi State and throw that in there. That'd be kind of ballsy. But we're going to go down. I think we're going to go down and take an alternative spread with Iowa State maybe. Alt spread, Iowa State. Nope, it won't let us go that high. I wanted to get at least past a touchdown with them at Baylor. Not taking that. It's a road game. Let's find one more spot so we can get plus money here. Let's go with what do we like? I swear there was one other thing that I really liked. There's some sharp money on Arizona. We could throw Arizona in to end the night off. You guys would have to sweat out the parlay at the end of the day. Here, I'll turn the volume back on.
Incredible.
It's going to be tough to bounce through all the signs. Oh, he's going down.
Almost went down.
So that is pretty similar to soaking from what I've been told. Earthquaking underneath. From what I've been told.
Look who's in the bleachers here. I'm sitting here calculating national championship.
Hey, to go.
Ski stick. Good job. Good best in game.
Sports here.
Old Dominion.
All right, we're going to add in alternative spread with Texas. Texas at home over BYU minus 9.5. Get it down under 10. There was a pretty sharp move on that game from 17 all the way up to 20. The money's pretty much even on both sides. So Kansas plus 11.5, Texas A&M, K-State, and Texas minus 9.5. It's plus 153. I'm throwing $100 on it right now. 100 risk to win 153. All right, I just got that in. So there you go, guys. There's a parlay right there. That's going to hit for sure, for certain. Plus 153.
Had never been to the Rose Bowl.
Never. First time walking in with his son, Shador, saying, look at this. Take it in. Pretty cool.
There's not a lot of stadiums you get to walk into, like Lambeau,
yeah,
the Rose Bowl.
True, very true. Exactly.
Historic places.
Yeah. You know what it's like in all of those big places.
Boston
I do.
College,
Very
no idea.
fortunate, very fortunate.
Oregon beats Utah by 3. Probably.
Best of the game brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Lines, helping the world keep promises. So the Colorado offense, though it has fallen off a bit in the last few games, having to deal with this UCLA defense, which has been the best in the Pac-12, and they have made life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. See if they can do that to Shedeur Sanders tonight.
UCLA's defense against
the high-powered offense from Colorado.
This is strength versus strength.
With a quarterback like this, doing what he's capable of doing.
Throws down the seam. Shedeur with a laser beam.
He's certainly in the conversation for top quarterbacks in the country the way he's playing right now.
We all know they're going to double team Xavier Weaver, try to take him out the game. It's just the next guy that got to step up.
And that's what our intention is this week is we need to try to disrupt the timing of the routes, and then we really need to get pressure on the quarterback.
That defense that they feature is phenomenal.
They got a very talented front seven.
They got Latu, another sack for UCLA.
You guys have all seen it. I mean, he's just insane off the edge.
We're going to have to do a great job protecting two in the pocket and also moving the sticks in the run game, matching the intensity up front. We are guys that can get out there and just do whatever we want to do.
Colorado and UCLA tonight. Check out the unis that the Bruins are going to be wearing.
Nice. It's a good costume there.
You know what? Those remind me a lot of the uniforms they used to wear when Mark Harmon played quarterback. Yep. Gary Beaven back in the 60s.
That's what I'm
Heisman Trophy winner. Mark Harmon was once the celebrity guest picker on College Game.
He was.
Way back in the day.
He's on the board. He's on one of the rankings.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and yet we still have celebrity guest picker. Anyway, Colorado, UCLA is favored by 2 touchdowns tonight. Can Colorado protect Shedeur long enough to make this tight?
And that's the key to battle in the trenches. We've known all year long that Colorado's had an issue up front protecting their quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and UCLA's defense right now. Statistically, they're on pace to being the best defense they've had there since 1988. This is like an NFL caliber defense. Watching film, first couple of games, they had like 5 down linemen. They played Wazoo, Cam Ward. They decided to go 3 down. They do a great job of giving offenses different looks. So I do think that UCLA will probably win this game, but closer than the experts think.
Coach Lynn, defensive coordinator, to your point, comes from the NFL. So he was at the Baltimore Ravens last, and now he's the UCLA defensive coordinator. And you see a lot of sophisticated looks from them. Yeah. And I think they're only going to get better as the year goes on. I got some film here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes are going to have to stare down with this UCLA defense. They hunt on all fronts. Darius Muasau, linebacker, 4th and 2, got to have it. D-line muddles it up. He shoots the gap, and he's not just coming light. Big pads. They hit hard. We win the game. That UCLA team has incredible moxie. Now, they show like they're going to bring a blitz, right? Wrong. Cover 1. We just got 2 lurkers, eyeing the quarterback. So wherever you want to go, they got a guy sitting there, and all of a sudden, they sack the quarterback. We know Shedeur is no stranger to that. That guy right there. Latu, top 10 in sacks in the country, but also ball player. Hunts the ball, finds the ball, eyes the ball, punches the ball. Give me that ball. It's an opportunistic defense who's able to get to the quarterback. They have sophisticated systems in place. This is going to be the toughest challenge that Shedeur has seen. He throws for 400 against Stanford. He throws for 500 against other teams. Today, Coach Lynn and that defense is going to try their best to confuse him and get after him, which obviously he's been sacked more than anybody.
I like you do the film. I like you break that down. You enjoy that?
Yeah, I love talking ball. You know, every once in a while I'll take my shirt off, though, and, like, let Muss know that I'm with him.
Yeah, and then you go back over here and you do a little XO stuff.
But whenever I see something like that, it's fun to break down, especially with this defense that has been a blast. Yeah. I'm going to take Coach Whittingham's word, and he said, just don't take your shirt off if they tell you to. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's what he said.
That's maturity. That's maturity.
You did it earlier. You listened to him
Hold on. Guys, this stream is way behind. This is not the up-to-date stream. I've already seen this segment. We gotta find another stream here on YouTube. My bad, guys. They don't do this on Stream East, so it's only here. That was not up to date. That was way behind schedule. It's almost 11:30, so we're getting close to the final picks now. I just posted that parlay on my TikTok account. I'll be on TikTok all day giving bets out, so make sure you Swing by the TikTok platform, hitting at a crazy rate on TikTok. Crazy. It's like almost 80%. Yeah, here we go.
I think that's kind of the game within the game today.
7:30 Eastern time tonight on ABC. There's one more on the fridge that Steve has to
This is the
fill out
week.
there.
Let's go, Coughlin. Let's go,
This
Coughlin.
is the week.
We know how much of a
All
disaster
right, let's see.
the fridge
He's gonna take
but
West
not
Virginia.
many teams could say they're 1-0 on the fridge this year.
Yep.
Let's make it 2-0. Give me the Mountaineers plus the points.
That's what I'm talking about.
On the
There we
road.
go. Got to go with the Mounties.
UCF
Big
feeling
game
themselves
last
a little
week.
I like
bit
that
last
play.
week, scored a bunch of points, big spot. West Virginia just coming
What's
in.
West Virginia's record right now?
A lot of wins, not as many losses.
Today? No,
4 and
nothing
3.
outside the fridge?
It's frozen.
It's frozen.
Here's what we've got in store.
Just like
for
the
you.
picks.
Hey, you know, last Saturday in October sets you up for trying to win championships in November if you can. Florida State trying to avoid that trap at Wake Forest. Texas
Let's go,
at
guys.
home
Let's
against
go. We got college
BYU.
football
Malik
today,
Murphy
baby. Let's
starting
go.
at quarterback.
I posted
Colorado and UCLA
my
at linebacker.
NFL official plays last
7:30
night, too.
Eastern time. So the Pac-12
Make sure you check out that
standings,
video.
Washington leads the way. Utah among
7
those
of them.
teams with only one loss. And Oregon State has their only loss was to Washington State. They beat Utah. They handed Utah its only loss, and all of their 6 wins have come by double digits. DJ Uiagalelei has been really efficient. He has thrived in the Jonathan Smith offense. He's second in
DJ
the Pac-12
Ukulele.
in total QBR.
A lot of people are on Arizona.
Is
What do you
ahead
guys think of
him.
that
Think
game?
about the way this guy's played. And Jonathan
A lot of
Smith has
people
told
like
his
Arizona
team
plus
that this
3.5.
little stretch of schedule that they've got behind this opportunistic defense.
God, I don't
This
know.
is where you can find out if you go from good.
The teams
to
Arizona's
great. Rod
played are
Gilmore,
just
who's
so
back. We're glad
soft.
that Rod's
Oregon
feeling a lot better. He's
State's
gonna
so
call the game
physical.
tonight.
Good.
Pointing out that
Tough
this
team.
Arizona defense that Oregon State's going to have to deal with, when you Caleb Williams, Penix, and Cam
So
Ward
many
combined,
people are on Arizona.
One TD
So
pass
many.
allowed. Beeve better be careful here.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever you talk about the Beavs,
Maybe they
though,
go down.
If
I
you
don't
go
know.
back and
I
watch
just-
that Washington
God, I
State
can't
game
see
in the
it.
fourth quarter, they scored 21. If that game was like 2 minutes longer, you'd be talking about this Oregon State team still being undefeated in a very difficult Pac-12. But whenever you talk about the Oregon State team, you have to talk about Damian Martinez, okay?
Yep.
He is the running back for them. And that team, number 1 in red zone scoring in the country. Whenever they get down close to the paint, they make the opportunities worth it. This Zona team with the backup quarterback, Noah Fafita, has obviously been able to fight very, very strong and taken USC to triple overtime and lost to
Why
Washington
is
by
Arizona
7,
such a big
dominated
public play
Wazoo.
here?
But in this particular game, I think Oregon State staples the fact that they're one of the most dominant teams in the entire Pac-12.
That Arizona defense has been one of the bigger stories, I think.
I
in the
have to
Pac-12.
agree.
Johnny Nance and their defensive coordinator, they gave up 36
A lot of money on
a
Arizona,
game.
guys. Let me
Kind of an
double check.
afterthought. Now they're only giving
I'll
up
give you the
20
percentage.
a game. So there's huge improvement there. Just, I think Fafita's brought in some confidence also to the way they can score on you. So this is a dangerous game for Oregon State, and it speaks volumes about. We talk about the top of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden now you
64%
gotta
of the
play
money
Arizona,
against the
and
spread
when you
is
go
on
to Tucson,
Arizona.
You got to be concerned about dealing with their firepower. And everybody brags about Oregon State.
I can't get there.
Right. Arizona's kind of playing that kind of brand as well. So
can't
this
get
is
there.
a heck of a game.
Yeah, Jonathan Smith, DJ Uiagalelei. You're looking at Martinez.
I don't love the game, but I'd have to be on Oregon State.
Talented offense. DJ's playing
God,
at a
it
high
feels
level
so-
right now because there's
it
not a
feels
lot of
square,
pressure on
but,
them
man,
because
I
they
just-
can run the ball.
Arizona.
A quarterback's best friend is a great running game, and that chemistry right now is well working for them very well. But I like Arizona because Jed Fish has these guys believing. If you look at them from the beginning of the season to now, they're gradually getting better. This is a very, very dangerous game for the Beavers. I do think they're going to win, but it's going to be a close one.
And Arizona's got a stud receiver. Tedero McMillan is
I'm going
is
Arizona.
a weapon. You going to Arizona?
I'm going Arizona.
You think Arizona to win?
Steve.
I'm picking Arizona to win.
All right.
At the end of the day, Steve says, hey,
Can we get-
Tucson
are
at
they in the
night is
picks?
tough.
Are they in the
Tucson at
picks?
night is tough.
I don't know. Yeah,
They're in the
they're picks. I got Arizona.
Oh, you know what? I picked them too.
All right, so there you go. I like Oregon State even more. Those two guys are in Arizona.
Oregon State's one of the teams.
Desmond
played very
and
well.
Herbie.
They won like 15 of 19.
They're on the
against,
Wildcats.
against
Give me
Wildcats.
Oregon State to
We'll
cover.
break down this game. What this must crowd is waiting for, the XO factors in the Oregon.
I'm gonna bet
Utah
it
game. Winner
if I have some money
stays in the
by
hunt to make it to the Pac-12
that point
championship
today.
game. Steve
See how the day
Smith
goes, but
the great Ute,
I think
the
there's a
great
good chance
Panther.
I might Maybe I'll
Great
live
guest
bet,
pick. You're gonna bring
see if
some
Arizona
energy in
can
here.
score
We're looking
first or
forward to
something.
Seeing where he goes. And now, Jess, what do we have here? Jess, talk to the people, Jess.
Traeger Pitmasters. Yes. Chad Ward. We got banana pudding. Oh,
Chad,
Steve,
my
don't
man.
worry.
Barbecue.
Those commercials. Those
I'm not gonna let you
This
out.
isn't in Texas. Why they got barbecue in Utah?
Look at the size of that.
We got smoked duck.
Traeger got great ribs.
Smoked beef ribs.
Oh, wow.
Reverse seared tomahawk steak. Wow, okay.
It has to be healthy as banana. Look at that.
Yes, but hold on. This one needs to eat. Poor thing is hungry.
Thank you, Traeger.
I need to say that.
Yeah, cheers, right?
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Someone's got to eat the tomahawk steak. Come on. Damn. I'd crush that right now. If you guys, let me mute that for just a second while we're on commercials. If you guys are just swinging by the stream, we created a parlay just a few minutes ago. And it's going to hit. It's plus money. It's at plus 153. The first leg is Kansas with an alternative spread of 11.5. Texas A&M on the money line. Kansas State on the money line. And Texas with an alternative spread of 9.5 to get that thing down under 10. They are favored by 20.5 today. BYU is a fraud despite their record. Does Texas cover 20.5? I think that's also pretty likely, but we're going to go alternative minus 9.5 for Texas to get them under 10. So Kansas at 11.5, Texas under 10 at 9.5, and then A&M and K-State on the money lines. That comes out to plus 153. That is an absolute home run of a parlay, guys. Absolute home run, plus money. Get your plus money. That's free money. Slap a like on today's live stream. Would appreciate it. Take that bet, guys. That's going to hit for sure. I may double up right now on that. Very tempted. I'll probably just let it ride. But that's a really, I mean, that's absolutely hitting. 100 million %.
Medical bills. Good hands.
Let's see. Is there any more line movement? Let's check the slate. What's moving? What's moving here? The money continues to come in on Kansas. It does not stop. The spread is still 7.5. However, the 7.5 for Kansas is extremely juiced at minus 118 now. This thing might drop all the way down to 7 in the next half hour. But it just dropped. It literally just dropped, guys. Even money at 7 now. That's a 3-point move on Kansas, down from 10. It's down to an even 7. It's down to it just flipped back to 7.5. So this thing's gonna end right around that touchdown mark, more than likely. Oklahoma's probably winning between 3 and 10 points today. Florida State staying the same at 20.5. West Virginia, you could still get a plus 7. I like that wager. I would definitely consider taking plus 7 with West Virginia. Texas A&M's creeped up to 16.5. Penn State still sits at 30.5. Wouldn't touch that game, though. Weird. Maryland at Northwestern. Try to avoid road college football games the best you can. You never know what happens. At the end of the day, these are kids. Any given day, anyone can win in college football. I'd stay away from road games the best you can. Houston at Kansas State. The line's just been stuck at 17.5. I'd imagine it pretty much lands somewhere right around that number. I'm not willing to touch that game. Everything else looks about where it was last night. Let's see, is there any more movement? Clemson, NC State, still at 9.5. It did tick down from 10, though, within the last day or two. I can't remember when that moved. Georgia remains a 14.5-point favorite. I kind of feel like that's too many points. Florida might cover that number. Notre Dame is still 20.5. Utah, this college game day setting, Utah is still 6.5. I'd take the points with Utah if I had to. BYU, Texas just went over that, still 20.5. Duke, Louisville sits at 6.5. No idea on that game, though. Mississippi State still sits at 6.5 against Auburn. There is a lot of public money on Auburn, guys. A lot of people are on Auburn today. I would maybe consider Mississippi State in the points. Iowa State, Baylor, that line's up to 3.5. So pretty good movement out of Iowa State. Maybe Iowa State goes to Baylor today and gets a win.
Yes.
Hey, look at this scene.
Still here. Still very cold.
I really just show these guys here for this segment.
Sorry,
Pulling up the U.
Corncob TV sign.
Look at him. Look at him go.
It's a good crowd, man. Impressive. Very impressive.
Hey, thank you, Utah. Thank you.
Also creative with the sign. Folks, if BYU was getting the game day, there is no love lost.
Oh, man. All right, which one?
Oh, I'm all, yeah. Absolutely, all in.
Oh, wait, Bo Nix played more games than Lee Porcello.
How about that? That's pretty. Well, the schedules are bigger.
That's pretty creative.
Oh, look at
That's good credit. Yeah, free hardball.
There we go.
Yeah, Michigan fan there, huh?
That's clever. Normally, that's how I'm described.
Waiting took over on the 7th. That look.
Hey,
Nice.
he was awesome. He's awesome.
It is going to be a terrific game this afternoon. You know, Bo Nix, a quarterback for Oregon, is a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman. The Heisman might very well be on the table, depending on what happens today. This is a guy who he and his wife babysit Dan Lanning's kids. He's matured into the perfect type of leader to go into a hostile environment like this. Very few teams in the country put together drives the way Oregon does. And when you go deep into the metrics, no team stops teams from putting together drives quite the way Utah does. So if you're going to have somebody lead you into a crowd like this against a defense that will set its hair on fire and cause a wreck like Utah's, you need a guy like Bo Nix.
Bo wants to go deep. He's got him. Touchdown, Ducks.
There really is no weakness to what they do. They make minimal mistakes, especially Bo.
Nix inside the 5 and inside the end zone. He can do it with the arm and with the legs.
Bo Nix is a blessing to this offense. You know, he's one of the best in the nation. He's got that it factor that you look for in all quarterbacks.
He's a guy when the ball's in his hands, you have a lot of pride knowing that he's going to create success.
They're going up against one of the best defenses in America.
Salt Lake City once again is picks.
It's going to be a great game.
They're all over the field. They also do a good job.
It's going to be an awesome game.
Down he goes.
They're just nasty players. They're going to go get the job done. They're going to create turnovers.
We nasty. Come on.
And they're just going to make it really hard for an offense.
RSNB, relentless, smart, nasty ball hawks.
They apply pressure at all times, and they run to the ball like their hair is on fire. It's just probably the most physical team that we'll get to face.
These two teams, in so many ways, I feel like are mirror images because they are physical. We take a look at today's road test presented by Goodyear. The Duck offense runs the ball effectively, leading the nation in yards per game, second in scoring. You see what the Utah defense is able to do, Dad.
Yeah, I tell you what, saw the Ducks offense live and in person a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. Very impressed with them. I want to show you what the Utah Utes defense is going to have to deal with when the Oregon Ducks is on the field on offense. So now, guys, it's time for an easy choice presented by Geico. These guys, listen, start with Bucky Irving. He reminds me of Alvin Kamara, man, like 5'10", 195. He makes people miss. One miss right there in the hole. And then watch this short area quickness. Puts 2 Huskies on their butt. And then 2 more right there for a total of 5 missed tackles. How about Troy Franklin, the receiver? 6'3", kind of reminds me of Devontae Adams. He's a game changer, guys. At the top, gets a free release. No one's in the back. No safety help. This is nothing but a go route. The ball leaves his hand at the 40-yard line. 25 yards down the field. He has that extra gear to go get it. Let's give the love to some offensive linemen. Jackson, Powers Johnson, and the Johnny Cornelius, the right tackle. They like to use the Johnny in the pull game. Watch it right here. He's going to latch onto this DB, run him into the sideline. You got coaches trying to jump over him and everything. They're aggressive, and they're finishers. JPJ, the center, he says, Stanford, I'm going to give you guys a 2-for-1 deal. Throws the defensive tackle and the linebacker on the ground. I love their physicality, their aggressiveness, and these guys are finishers up front, Kirk. This is going to be a hell of a matchup.
It's going to be a really good game.
Against the Utes front seven.
This is going to be a really, really good game.
Popcorn, baby.
Yeah,
man.
And when Kyle Whittingham came on,
maybe
here,
overtime.
He made a point about how do you win this football game?
Maybe overtime.
First thing he said was we got to win the line of scrimmage. If you talk to Dan Lanning, he was on the set as well. He talks about the line of scrimmage. So this is a game that's going to be decided up front, not just with the offensive line,
but I think especially for both teams and their defensive line. I'm going to start with Oregon's defensive line and Brandon Dorless, number 3. This is goal line against Washington. See how he's able to slip a gap, use his hands. He's got tremendous quickness for his size. The Utes will have to account for him. Popo Amubai, also number 50, a guy that eats up a lot of space. Look at that, a double team. When you eat up double teams, it frees up backers to be able to get downhill like Jeffrey Bassa. It's a team that can fly around to the football, plays with a lot of confidence. Other side of the ball, when Utah's on defense, what a year that Jonah Ellis is having. 83 all over the field, 10 sacks. Bo Nix needs to be aware of him. And this is anytime you play Oregon, you got to play well on the perimeter. Look at all
right, line alert. The West Virginia spread just ticked down to 6.5 from 7. If you guys can still find a 7, I would consider taking West Virginia.
And the momentum of Utah for having a chance to play here, that's a big thing that Bo Nix is used to by growing up and playing in the SEC and now at Oregon.
I agree. This defense and the Muss are a great tag team.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about special players that are going to be playing this afternoon here, let's talk about a guy who plays on both sides of the ball. We're talking old school. We're talking talent. We're talking about Sione Vaki. Now, this guy, we have some tape. You heard this place pop. Was a safety. Jaquindon Jackson, starting running back, though, needed a little bit of relief. Well, let's create a player on NCAA. Let's take a safety that could be running back. Rushed for 158 yards against Cal, 68 last week against USC. He breaks tackles, he runs hard, and he finishes runs like an absolute dog. This team loves the tone that he sets. Well, he can't catch the ball, can he? He's a safety, right? Wrong. One for over 100 and a ton last week against USC. Playing on both sides of the ball. We talk about Travis Hunter. We talk about old school football. Let's talk about cutting on a dime. Let's talk about a video game player. Let's talk about Sione Vaki. And then on the defensive side of the ball, he's not scared to throw his weight around. One-on-one, need a tackle. You miss it, they're gone. Don't worry about it. Shoot for the hip. Bang! Sione Vaki's not scared to take that down. Nice. And let's talk about his brain a little bit. Obviously, being able to play on both sides of the ball, got to have a high football IQ. Eyes on the quarterback, follow the motion. Let's go ahead and stop this thing before it even starts. This guy is on 2K in real life, and he's violent about it. I enjoy watching Sione play. Utah obviously loves him for good reason, and when you're watching him play today, he's all over the tape. And that's a good thing, obviously, for college football.
He's like 9 yards a touch or so. Hey, don't worry, we're going to have you covered soon on that creative player thing. Hint, hint. Who you got in this game?
I think Kirk touched on the key matchup. Oregon's rush defense against Utah's rush offense. Utah's rush offense, 564 yards on the ground the last 2 games. Oregon hasn't really faced great rushing teams. Utah covers. Oregon wins the game.
Ouch, man.
Steve, you can't see anything. You got that sun in your eyes.
Somebody get that man.
Can we just take a minute to talk about his record? Did that just say 12-22? My God, that's embarrassing.
Top of the hour, just after it on ABC. Inside 24 minutes to kickoff. Jordan Travis. See the numbers he's put up as the Seminoles quarterbacks. They take on Wake Forest. How about this dude? Keon Coleman's been doing some work this. Man, Keon
Yo,
Coleman
what up,
is a
Jesse?
straight baller. He was a gift that just fell into Jordan Travis's lap, man. He's been tremendous, especially with the injuries
What
they've
up,
had in the
Jesse?
wideout position. He stepped up big time.
Jesse,
coming out in the all whites today over at
if you're still on the live stream right now, you got to check out this parlay I came up with, man.
Obvious passing situations. We mentioned earlier.
I know you're not a parlay guy, but you got to.
Pete Thamel just released.
You got to get in on
a few
this.
moments ago, breaking this story. Mitch Griffiths will start.
Okay. Well, that's big to have their starter back.
Let me just read this back to you real quick.
Him. So I think Wake hangs around in this game.
Kansas plus 11.5 alt spread.
Maturity,
Texas A&M money line. Kansas State money line. Texas alt spread minus 9.5. Comes out to plus 153. Got to take it.
Coach at Florida State now at Texas A&M inside 23 minutes to kickoff here on ESPN between the Gamecocks and the Aggies, and the unrest will certainly increase if Texas A&M doesn't take care of business and finish strong this season. 6 seasons in College Station, Jimbo, 43-24.
You said it earlier, Reese. If South Carolina goes in there and gets a massive dub, the biggest sign that's here says fund Jimbo's buyout. And then an actual Venmo, I think that they were going to go ahead and put towards it. Yeah. It's going to get real loud if Shane Beamer goes in there and gets a massive dub.
I just see one that says Bo Nix, Peas and Fools.
I do too, though.
Yeah.
There's Shane Beamer. He'll be hobbling around. You know, the thing is, I'll say this about Jimbo. I still think he's a terrific coach.
Yeah.
It's just gotten stagnant there, and see if he can turn it around. Superdog standings. Pat continues to lead the way.
You're catching up.
I'm just trying to get a first down. But Herb Street's on the board.
Okay.
Herb.
I guarantee you, I guarantee you, Pat McAfee is picking West Virginia today for his Superdog. Guaranteed.
Playing at home. Last time they won in 1875. I mean, he always has some kind of stat. So he's going with NC State and the Wolfpack.
Okay. All right.
And now me. All right. I'm going to go Florida and Georgia and Jacksonville. Where's the points?
14.5.
It's not a bad.
I think Florida could hang around.
It's kind of a trap line, though.
Neutral side.
Yeah.
Keep it within a couple touchdowns.
This would be a very popular pick around here. BYU in Austin against Texas. How many points am I getting? Is it still like 20?
20.
I think it's a lot of points. I think that they'll cover. I do think the Longhorns will win, but I think I'll get some points this week.
I'm going to take Cal over USC plus the 10.5. When I look at USC, I expect them to be better on offense.
I like
better
that.
than they were the last
I don't
2
know,
weeks.
though.
But I
USC,
think Cal with that offense,
they could take out some frustration today. I don't know about
2
that.
touchdowns each game. Give me Cal.
I found a rub like Stanford Steve, and I don't
course.
know that he's on this particular side on this particular day. I got my gravy train. West Virginia +7 over UCF. Garrett Green's playing great football. UCF had a massive game last week against Oklahoma. 1 2-point conversion away. I think they have a letdown against Mountaineers.
All right, be quiet.
I agree with that.
Colorado State getting 14 in a hook against Air Force. I do love America, but I'm taking Colorado State.
Hates America.
That's to let you know. That's to let you know. It might be snowy.
Kyle Whittingham's going to break you in half.
I feel certain that he could. I just hope he chooses not to. Here's who we have. West Virginia, Colorado State, Cal, NC State, BYU, and Florida. Those are the teams that you will be rooting against.
Yeah, a lot of those are going to lose, to be honest.
The Wheels Up and our good friends
I like the West
Delta
Virginia
to
pick.
make sure that they get our guest picker on side each and every week. And this week, Jess, it is Steve Smith.
Yes, it is. Reese, it is the one and all. Look at this. The
Let's
red
go.
looks great on you.
I love Steve Smith.
Come on, walk with me, Steve Smith Sr. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Great. Okay, awesome. You're back on campus.
Yes.
It's electric. What's it like for you?
Well, the last time I walked these grounds as a student was probably about 23, 24 years ago. But we come here a lot, my family.
I didn't know he went to
and
Utah.
We love Utah. You know, it's exactly who we are. But love coming back to the U and love supporting you.
One thing is for sure, Utah loves you. Go and make your picks. Let's
Appreciate
go.
it.
See you later.
Those new tiles are falling right into place until you run out of, what are those
All right,
called
let's
again?
check the line movement. Any more line movement? Let's see.
Oh, right. The Home Depot app is made for doing that doesn't miss a beat. So you can find what you need fast and keep things moving in the right direction. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
The new barbecue ranch chicken crunch from Jimmy John's is here with house.
Yeah, not a lot of movement. Everything's pretty much the same.
Tortilla strips. All that sauciness comes as a sandwich or wrap. Sandwich or wrap. Sandwich or wrap. For a limited time at Jimmy John's as a sandwich or wrap.
Some people just
Cal
know
is
this
down
podcast
at 10 from
about
10 and a
that.
half.
Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
Big tea drinker.
Yeah.
There's a podcast about tea.
He knows, and he wants you to know too.
I was
That's
listening
about
to
it,
a
guys.
podcast on it. Dogs know their dogs.
Everything else is the same.
About that? Just like he wants you to know about Allstate.
Everything is pretty steady right now. Pretty
Why
steady.
is that person doing that? It's called Tea-rific.
Are you listening to a podcast?
You guys are just coming through the live stream
Some
now.
people
Hit that
just
like
know
button, by
there's a
the way.
podcast about that.
Completely
Those are the
free to
people
you
who know you're
guys.
in good hands with Allstate.
You can't focus in the game when you're worrying about your
And
tummy.
check out that
So whenever
parlay
the
if you're
clock is
if you're
stopped,
new to the
that's when you
stream.
order in. Like before
Scroll
kickoff,
back
like,
through the
right
live
now,
stream
what are you
and,
doing,
and
stare
catch
at me?
that
Let's get
parlay.
ordering.
Plus
Pizza,
153,
chips,
plus
drinks,
money. It's
spaghetti,
gonna hit.
I don't know, phones. Now people.
Guaranteed.
You got this.
When you get approved with Drive Time, you get the real deal.
It's the Drive Time Real Deal Maker.
Pump the brakes, Tim.
I can't. I'm too excited.
It lets you customize the real down payment and monthly payment of the car you want to buy.
That's super smart.
I make the deal myself.
It's your car. You should make the deal you want.
And the deal you make on your phone is the deal you pay. It's that simple.
You make the deal yourself.
Then just go to the dealership for a haggle-free purchase because you already made the deal yourself. Woo! Get the real deal at drivetime.com.
The Chewy app has everything for pets. Hungry pets, itchy pets, scratchy pets, and most importantly, your
God,
pet.
I could not
Every
sleep
day,
last
great
night.
prices
Shit.
And 35% off your first auto ship order. Right to your door. Download the Chewy app.
Can you make a scrolling banner with the parlay in it? That's on StreamYard, right, Jesse? I'm just using Streamlabs right now, so I don't have the ability to do that. Maybe in the future. But you know what? I don't even want to advertise that parlay because that's a plus money parlay that's guaranteed to hit. And for the people who, you know, are on here typically and watch the streams, you know, they're going to get it and other people aren't. So it's cool with me.
Game Day is built by the Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
100% hitting,
and in
though.
part by Coors Light, made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
We need you guys to bounce. Set off the seismograph.
I think Steve Smith's going to do pretty good on the picks here. See if we disagree with any. I think he's going to do pretty good.
They installed seismograph here in 2023. There's one under Rice-Eccles, and there's one here. Hashtag YouthQuake. Let's see if we can get this baby on the Richter scale. Woo! Lot of earthquaking around here. Steve Smith sitting on the set. How is it, man?
Hey, it's always good to get back to the University of Utah.
Pretty impressive college game day, to be honest.
I'm excited.
West Virginia was crazy, too. That's where I got that hard hat. Front row, baby. Front row. Epic experience.
This is what you're going after.
Hey, Bates had a good week, right? C.J. Stroud, good week.
Yeah.
Nobody had as good of a week as Joel
Let's
McHale.
see. What else do we have? Anything
Pretty
moving?
much everybody had a good week.
Let me turn this up a
Hootie,
little.
First week, 500.
Vince Vaughn, 7-5.
Yeah. Everybody else.
awesome.
Now, Steve, we can see if he can set the standard Coors Light Saturday selections as we make our picks, take you up to kickoff on this college
go.
football
Let's see.
Saturday.
What do we got?
And we'll start with one in the Mountain West, flown under the radar a little bit. UNLV only lost of the season to Michigan. Fresno State's only lost to Wyoming. They go head-to-head. Who you got? Yeah, we were talking about that last night. Fresno State and UNLV. It's going to be a really good game, but I think I got to go with UNLV. Those 6 wins they had, only one loss to Michigan. I'm going with UNLV.
Fresno quarterback Mikey Keene was out last week, questionable this week. I don't think it matters which quarterback's playing for Fresno State.
Yeah.
They throw the ball very well. UNLV does not defend the pass well. Give me the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Wow. Well, last time I was in UNLV, they were giving up a lot of pass yards. But, and John Robinson was the head coach. I was back in yonder when I actually had hair.
50s, 60s.
Yes,
Yeah.
UNLV is bowl eligible for the first time in 20 years.
Wow.
Let's go with UNLV.
Let's go.
I used to call your games on Thursday nights. When you get, yeah. Oh, yeah. Going way back, Lavelle Edwards and BYU. And,
The Holy War.
yeah. It was good.
What kind of player was he? He was calling those games. Was he?
Feisty player.
And now, a little bit better than a Jag.
I'm going to go with Malik Sherrod and the running back of Fresno. The team coming off of a bye. Big game for both these teams, but I think Fresno at home at night, they get it done.
Boy, Vegas kicked 6 field goals to win last week. I'm really surprised you didn't go with them.
Oh, I love that.
Here we go.
That means you're not scoring touchdowns.
Oklahoma, and
Here we go.
Kansas. Yeah, the Sooners.
That spread's
survived
7.5, by the
a week
way.
ago against Gus Malzahn and UCF. I think that just brought them back to reality, knowing they're going to get every team's best shot. So I think they're going to take care of business today against Kansas.
I feel the exact same way. I love Coach Leipold and everything he's got going in Kansas, but I think Oklahoma too powerful today, especially after that UCF performance. Give me the Sooners.
Kansas hasn't beat Oklahoma since 1997. I was in high school.
Wow.
A lot has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma is winning that
that streak 18 games now.
Yeah. I mean, Lance Leipold, you guys said, I mean, he's 8-2 at home. I mean, he's a different team.
Man, if Daniels was playing for Kansas
UCF
and Oklahoma played better last week,
wake-up call. I think
this would have been the upset of the week.
Oklahoma wins it.
Really
Bad
big
spot
game in
for
the
Kansas.
ACC to try to get to the conference title game. Duke against Louisville.
Bad
And we
spot.
all know that Duke's a different team, especially offensive. When they have Riley Leonard, his availability is questionable.
No idea.
Game time decision.
No
if
idea.
he does play, what percentage will he be? I just don't like their offensive chances against Louisville's defense. I'm going with Louisville in this game.
Yeah, congrats to Coach Braum and Louisville being 6-point favorites this late into the season in his first year as a head coach for the Cardinals back in town. I love what the Cardinals have been able to do, but give me Coach Santucci in that Duke defense doing their thing today. I like the Blue Devils with Riley Leonard playing through pain.
Well, living in Charlotte, we usually talk about Duke. We're talking about basketball, Cameron. Yeah. But we're talking about football and what they have been able to do. Jeff Brom is 6-4 after coming off a bye week. Emphasis on 4.
Yeah.
Right? There's a home game. This is a homecoming game.
Man, they're going
for
slow.
Louisville.
Usually they crank through these picks.
In order to grow your money,
God
just
damn,
go with
really?
the best numbers. Like these, 6, 3, and 5. Earn 6% APY with.
Usually they blow through these
I believe
picks.
the status quo of Louisville's homecoming game success will do it. Give me Duke.
Oh, I thought you were going the other way.
That
was a good little...
Yeah, back and forth there. Something about that chair, I think. He goes back and forth. You know, if we knew about Riley Leonard's health, I think you'd feel a lot comfortable. The spread, what is it, 6 for Louisville?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Duke as well because of the defense. I think Riley Leonard, he is a tough kid. I think he'll play through the pain. I think Duke wins it.
Let's do a quick pick here on the one that sort of falls out in the Netherlands of TV today. You'll have to look to find.
This is an interesting one.
So in 1888, the city...
Not sure about Clemson, man. Still trying to figure out who this team is. So I'm going with the Wolfpack. Coming off a bye, too, so I'm going NC State.
Wow, that's huge. Dabo's looking for the CW. I think we all are. But give me Clemson getting a massive win
Yeah, I
over
don't
Coach
know.
Corso's NC State Superdog.
I don't know, guys.
Coach.
That's a low
Look,
total.
Clemson has
but
been struggling. They're not the Clemson we've loved over the years. But NC State, unfortunately, they're waiting for basketball to start.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Clemson, how about the end of the Clemson game last week? They're in overtime against Miami. They don't get it done. Media asked Dabo Swinney about it. He said, hey, Cade should have handed it off. He was very blunt about that, in public about that. Anxious to see how
Probably
Clemson
take the
comes
under.
back
I'd
this
probably
week.
take the
I think
under.
they'll come together. I think they'll play well. I think they get the win.
It's going to be like
Give me a quick one
27
on
to
Ohio
10 or
State,
something.
Wisconsin. Strange things happen up in Madison, but the Buckeyes will prevail.
They'll be jumping around, but I think Ohio State will be celebrating, Steve.
I agree with you, Ohio State, because Dalton Prayers, when your quarterback has to have a career day, that means he hasn't been playing at his top. So I got to go with Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's defense is able to travel. Ohio State's offense, I feel that they may be challenged. Luke Fickell, former Ohio State player and assistant, he'll have his team fired up on the defensive side of the ball. I just don't think there's enough balance. for
That
the
game
Badgers
certainly
offense.
would shock
For
the
the
world
beer
if
barrel,
that was an
Tennessee's
upset.
beat Kentucky
begins to
35
ban
to
the
38.
farm wagon.
Joe
And
Milton
therefore,
makes a play
your
in the fourth.
public market, it no longer is a place where farmers are going to sell.
Gotta be kidding me. Nice, reliable stream. This always happens, I swear. Try this one, maybe.
I got to go with Tennessee just because Kentucky's secondary is struggling, and Tennessee's offense has taken a step or two
Tennessee
back
minus
from
4.
last
I
year.
thought the spread was 3.5.
And I think we have a struggling defense and a quarterback who's playing up and down. That benefits you.
You know, Steve, Kentucky cannot complete a forward pass the last 2 games.
That's tragic.
They started off very looking good. They've lost 2 in a row. And Devin Leary is supposed to be this big addition to their offense, and he's just struggling. Perfect time to...
Unbelievable. This always happens at the end, guys. We like almost get to the very last picks, and we never quite get them. The other streaming platforms never have College Game Day. So you literally have to just YouTube the Game Day stuff. All the normal games are on like Stream East and things, but try this one maybe. Yeah. It's all getting shut down. Always happens at the end. Yeah, I don't know. Let me run through these picks though one last time. Let's run through the slate one final time right now. Right now. Any last second line movement. Kansas is down a +7.5. It's juiced to shit. It's -120. I'd probably take the points with Kansas at this point. That's a lot of sharp movement that's come in this morning. Florida State and Wake, huge number. Probably stay away from that. Wake or Florida State or pass. Mountaineers, I liked it +7, 6.5. Probably pass on the game. Lean West Virginia. Texas A&M, 16.5 point favorite over South Carolina. That's a huge number. I don't know. Maybe you get a backdoor cover from the Gamecocks. Pretty low total in that one at 51.5. What else? Anything else sticking out here? You guys can let me know what you think in the comments, what games you guys like. Everything else is pretty much the same. I said I like Utah today. I would take the 6.5 points. I think it's going to be a field goal winning game. Low total at 47.5. Ice cold weather. I have a hard time believing anyone's going to really run away with that game. What else? Iowa State is up to -3.5 at Baylor. That could be the biggest trick ever. I think Baylor +3.5 looks attractive, but maybe Iowa State gets the job done today. Baylor's had a couple of good wins lately, but maybe they come back down to earth. I don't think they're that good of a team. Virginia, Miami, not interested. Purdue, Nebraska, zero clue. What else? That's pretty much it. Tennessee, Kentucky. So they said 4 on the screen. I still see 3.5 on FanDuel. If you do want to bet if you do want to bet Tennessee, head over to FanDuel. You can get a 3.5. Colorado +14.5 at UCLA. Not interested in that game. Who knows? Ohio State, it's a road environment. No idea. Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, line is 7.5. Absolutely no idea. I sort of feel like I want to take the points with Cincy. Oklahoma State's won too many games. They're not a good football team. They might actually lose outright today at home, as stupid as that sounds. I would lean Cincinnati. They're like way overdue for a win, as bad as they are. I'd probably take the points with Cincy. UNC, Georgia Tech, no idea. Washington State, Arizona State, no idea. Both teams are trash. Oregon State, Arizona, I already gave my opinion out on that. I know Arizona is extremely public. It does look like the sharp money's on Arizona. I just can't do it. I just cannot. Oregon's, they just haven't played a team as physical as Oregon State. They played well against Washington State, Washington, and USC, but this is a different animal. It would be Oregon State or pass or just stay away from the game for me. My official picks are out on the channel for NFL and college, so after you guys exit out of this, you can check out my free plays. Everything's completely free here on the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Slap that like button before you exit out.